All right, we're going to do an Orgonite freezer water test for the skeptics out there who think maybe the freebie towerbusters we used in the last one that created the stalactites and the vortex, maybe that could be replicated with just using copper that is in those freebies. So yeah, I appreciate any skepticism, and I'm happy to do the test to investigate. So what we're going to do is for about 7 hours, we're going to put this copper on the bottom here. If we can move our veggie burgers out of here. See, okay, so we have copper on the bottom there. A little dirty right there. Got to clean the freezer. And then we're going to put sample down there. Oops, okay. All right, so there we go. We have copper on the bottom and on the top. So we're replicating the previous test in which we had a towerbuster on bottom and one on top. So it is, let's see, 3:15. So we'll check back later tonight. All right, it's 10 o'clock. It's time to take out the water sample that just has copper. No Orgonite, just copper. These are, yeah, good vegan burgers, by the way. Hillary's, definitely good. Okay, let's see what happens with this vortex. This is live. Taking it off, you can see the smaller coil underneath. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see if there's a vortex, stalactites, stalagmites. Okay. See what we can see. There's a little bit of a formation of stalactites underneath. A little bit, very teeny, not anywhere near the Orgonite. So the copper will produce tiny stalactite formations, but we don't see a vortex in the middle anywhere near the formations that we saw with the two pieces of Orgonite. As you can see, some tiny stalactites on the bottom and nothing really on the top. Now in the previous sample we saw stalactites coming out from every direction. So let's go in the garage and get a better view. Okay, so this is the copper water sample. As you can see, there are some stalactite formations on the bottom. So there is an energetic presence there that was not in the control sample, but we don't see nearly enough of the energetic vortex. So there is something there, as you can see, but it's only in the bottom, and there's not as many of the stalactites that I remember was there with the Orgonite, and as we remember with the control sample, that was completely just blank. It was like just no structure in the water at all. But you can see that the stalactites are really only on the bottom, and they're kind of sparse. They're not really thick, you see. They're kind of just not as energetically omnipresent, not as full energetically. So with the Orgonite sample, we see more stalactites. We can see a vortex in the middle. We don't see really a vortex in the middle here. We just see a tiny little formation. And you can see the difference there. So copper is a great conductor. Copper is, I believe, the second most conductive metal. So it goes silver, copper, gold, aluminum, and brass. So you would think that a copper coil, small little Tesla coil, would have a little bit of a presence. So that makes sense. But when we add copper with quartz and selenite powders and all the atomized metals and ormus, all that stuff, it's going to have a stronger energetic signature. And that energetic signature can convert stagnant energy into life force energy. So would you want to just wear copper all the time to protect you from EMF? I wouldn't. I'd rather wear Orgonite. And this water sample proves that Orgonite is stronger than the control sample and just copper. Okay, so we've done a water test with these two micro freebies. Now these just have the accumulator field, the MMSSO matrix, which is the metal, mineral, salt, sand, ormus matrix, plus some quartz sand and some selenite powder. There actually isn't really any copper coils in here. I don't think. There could be. Now that I think about it, there could be one. But there is copper oxide, so there's copper in here for sure. All right, so we did a test using this and its effect on water. We saw the vortex, we saw the stalactites. All right, and then we did a test using copper coils as our control sample, and we saw a little bit of a vortex. Not really a vortex, just a little bit of stalactites on the bottom. So we saw a little bit of an energetic presence because copper is a great conductor of energy. So it's actually not surprising that we saw copper give off a small energetic field or stalactite formations, okay? Now, we did that test with the copper just to satisfy the critics who think that the stronger field and stalactite energetic presence that was given off by these was really just the copper. So we have those skeptics who are discounting all the other elements we use and thinking it's maybe just the copper. So we saw that that actually wasn't the case. We gave off a stronger energetic field and vortex and stalactite formation when we had these. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a test that actually has these coils in it. So these pieces right here, this is a Tactical Towerbuster. This has a coil very similar to this that goes down like that, okay? And this piece right here has this. Okay, so we are going to do a test now with these pieces, a Tactical Towerbuster and a freebie, okay, that will have the same copper in it. So the point of the test is to see what kind of effect these devices have on the water. Now, if they just give off the same field that the copper gave off, if they give off the little bit of a stalactite formation down here, then we know that it's truly just the copper that's having the effect. But if they give off a stronger vortex and stalactites up here and on the sides and everywhere, then we know that it's actually the Orgonites, the Orgone energy devices that are creating the structured water, okay? So we're doing this test to kind of just be better investigators and see, you know, if it's really the copper or not, okay? Okay, so it's 8:30 in the morning. We're gonna put these in. This one goes on the bottom, okay? Now we put the water in. All right. And now we put the micro-towerbuster freebie in. So it's 8:30. We're gonna take these out later in the afternoon, about 7 hours later. And we're gonna truly see if it's just the copper giving off that faint field in the water, or if it's the actual Orgonite. Now, the pieces that were used last time were not as big, and I always say the bigger the pieces, the stronger the field will be. So we'll see what happens, and we'll be able to address the skeptics who think that the effect on the water is only being caused by the copper, and discounting the energy that's the rest of the stuff that's in here, all the minerals, the salts, the sands, and crystals. Okay, about 7.5 hours have passed. It's pretty much our standard time for leaving these in. Let's take them out. All right, so there is our Towerbuster on top. There is our water sample, and there's our Tactical on the bottom. See how the water sample looks, and again, this is to see if, whoa, where we see stalactites, whoa, in the middle and the bottom and the sides. So we're going to take this out to the sun to get a better picture of it. Let's check out the bottom here. Okay, so there you can see that stalactites, and you can see the vortex in the middle there. See that? vortex in the middle. It was not there with the control sample. Didn't see that at all with the strictly copper sample. And you could see it right there, the line. Okay, so now we're outside in the sun and we can see the clear kind of an egg-shaped vortex in the middle. It was not there in the control sample. It was not there in the strictly copper sample. And now we see stalactites, stalagmites. Let me rub this off real quick. There we go. Very, very defined spiky stalactites coming out not only the bottom but also the sides here and a little bit on the top. So we could see that this sample with a tactical and a small freebie micro-towerbuster gives off a much greater energetic presence, vortex, and the stalactites than strictly copper and just the control sample. So we know that it's not just the copper that's creating this. It's the actual Orgone device. And here's just another look at the inside. Again, you can see the vortex in the middle and the bottom. All right, so skeptics, it's not just the copper producing that. It is all the elements that we're combining. The powdered metals, the powdered minerals, the crystals, the copper, the coils, and the salts, the sands. Now we're going to do it next test with maybe something a little stronger, like a smart meter protector that has more crystals, more coils. So for now, we proved to the skeptics that it was not just the copper, it's the actual Orgone energy device creating this energetic presence.